All right, everybody, welcome to our next exit interview. We are here with Josh. He is our sixth member of the jury, placing fifth. Before we get started, I want to say a special thank you to Josh. Josh was there to volunteer on season two, and he stepped in last minute for somebody who didn't show up. And he also, beginning with episode two, took over our editing. So thank you for being a lifesaver twice, Josh.
Welcome.
Um, we're going to go ahead and get things started. So tell us a little bit about your experience out there.
Well, I think that my experience was very different from everybody else's, obviously. Um, I came last year when you guys filmed season one. You guys came to River Island, where I was currently working at the time when I was in school, and I got to hang. We got to hang out with you guys behind the scenes while you guys did the filming and the challenges. That's how I met Sandra last year, so it was nice. So I remember before you guys started planning this year's, you gave me a call to come help out again. And so that was the plan. I showed up that morning to play music for tribal council, and I was hoping the players get checked in like 5 minutes before the game started, and then you guys started freaking out and saying that one guy didn't show. You weren't sure what you were going to do to fill the spot, and I volunteered to play. And I like I said, I had no. Everybody had bags of like extra clothes and stuff. I had no bag of clothes. I had no fundraising advantages. I didn't know anybody. I know they said some people had pre-gamed and met ahead of time, so I had no, I had nothing as the game started, and I was panicking. But I think it went pretty well, honestly, overall.
Absolutely. That was a huge thing is we even on the real show, from what I understand, you really don't have a whole lot of time to prepare once you get that final call to be on the cast. You only get like 6 weeks or so. So I mean these contestants had like 8 months to prepare. Like they knew the date and it really sucked that this guy just didn't respond, didn't say anything out of nowhere and didn't show up. So if we were to ever do this again, alternates would definitely be in place, but yeah, it was a very interesting dynamic. So, obviously, my next question was about pregame alliances, but that didn't really apply to you. But
Right.
coming into this, did you know anybody or recognize anybody, or it was completely random group of 14?
I mean, I know the captains from watching the show. Besides that, I didn't know anybody. I remember I kind of kept up with the promotions when you were promoting season two, so I knew the faces from when you posted the cast. But that was about it for me. So no,
Okay.
I didn't know anybody.
So, look, the first thing we did when we started filming, we took you to the big field and we put you in your tribes. And so we kind of, I mean, even your bag said the guy who dropped out's name. So, everything we had planned for this guy, you kind of took that spot. We didn't really change anything around. So, when you found out what tribe you'd be on, obviously you didn't know these people, but looking at the tribe's first impression, would you have chosen your tribe or would you have maybe flipped to a different tribe if you could?
No, I like my tribe, honestly. It was a good little dynamic. It was interesting. Um, like I said, I kind of got a good vibe from some of the tribes at the beginning. When we came to the bonfire at the start, when the tribes were kind of introducing themselves, the players introduced themselves before the game started. We were going around saying like our professions, and I heard Angie was principal, and I latched onto her immediately because I thought that's something in common. So I'm jumping on that. So I was glad to see she was on my tribe. Nicole seemed really nice. Donnie seemed like a good challenge competitor, and then Johnny is Johnny. With him, you know what you're getting, so we kind of knew what the tribe dynamic would be like. So I like my tribe. I wish we had lasted all of it's lasted longer. We did, but I enjoyed my tribe.
Good. So, I'm going to kind of throw in a random question. So, why don't you walk us through those, first couple rounds on your, pre-merge tribe? And obviously, your name came up a lot for being the alternate, but, walk us through your thought process those first couple rounds.
Okay, so I didn't know I was the target. Like I'm stupid. I really thought I was a decoy. I'd heard so okay. So when we first got there, like as soon as we got to camp, the girls went to the bathroom, and John and Donnie grabbed me randomly and said, "Hey, let's put out Angela. She has advantages, and she wants to take you out, Josh." I thought, "What?" I already had a good vibe from Angie. That didn't sound right. So I thought when my name was coming around, I thought I was a decoy vote. I was never actually a target. And then when I watched the first episode, I was like, "Crap, they were going to take me out immediately." Even Angie. So that was a surprise to see. But um, I love Johnny. I had no intention of working with that dude just based on him. No offense to John, I know he's gonna watch this. Um, I didn't plan to work with John because I know his reputation. I didn't want to get lumped in with that. 'Cause I was worried John would get targeted pretty fast, no matter what. And if I worked with him, I would get thrown in there. So I knew I wanted to work with Angie instead. So I immediately went to her and Nicole and said, "Hey, they're trying to turn us against each other. Why don't we just work together instead?" And that's what happened.
Okay.
From there.
Yeah. So, once you kind of got to see these people, the other tribes, going through the challenges and in passing, maybe at the water well, or, I know the pink tribe kind of had a view of the green tribe and vice versa. Is there anybody that wasn't on your tribe that maybe if they were on your tribe, it could have helped you a little bit more?
Wayne White is my savior. I say that. That dude is the man. I wish I could have hung out with Wayne more. I'm very thankful he gave me his idol. I wish I could have used it better. Sorry, Wayne. Um, Definitely Wayne. I'm not gonna say Derek. Everybody has said Derek in all these little interviews. Derek's a good guy though. I would say from watching the episodes, I got to see more people's personalities than I did when I was there.
Mhm.
James is cool. I wish I could work more with James. I hate we took him out when we did. And Laura seemed really nice. So I think James, Laura, or Wayne White are my three.
Okay. So let's talk about, when you first get into the merge. One tribe has four, one tribe has three, your tribe had three, and the green tribe had three. So my first thought process from a production standpoint is green and pink are going to link up, they're going to take yellow out, and we obviously saw that happen for the most part, except for Derek, who's still in there. Um, you being a game player and somebody who is a very big fan of the show, did the thought ever cross your mind, let me try and do some, big moves here? We didn't see a whole lot of huge moves in the post merge, but talk to me a little bit about your thought process going into the merge.
So, so we're trying to plan ahead a little bit before the merge, but during the paintball challenge, no one, I don't think they got this on camera. When we were getting ready for the paintball challenge, after Johnny's little rant he gave about taking us out, Leah came to us and said, "Hey, let's work together and take out yellow." So they finally lose, and that was the plan until John shot all of us. The green had actually come to us way before the merge and planning to take out yellow so they wouldn't have the total majority. And so when we got to the what was it? The slingshot puzzle challenge that we won. When we were leaving from that challenge, yellow finally lost. They came to us again and said, "Hey, Wayne's going to give you his idol, most likely. We want to work together, come merge to take out all the yellow." And so we didn't have much of a plan. We thought after John kind of blew up our plans at that challenge that we'd just be targeted immediately. So we were worried about making it one round for the merge.
Hmm.
So we saw this as a second chance for us. Any kind of alliance we could take, we knew we were down in numbers. And so our plan, for me and Nicole's plan at least, was to work with the green and take out all of the yellows. And going to find out that was not Green's plan. They were going to they used us to get James out basically, to make sure he didn't have the numbers, and then they just ditched us. My plan was to go to six Green, but it didn't work out.
Okay, that was my next question. So let's talk about Final Six. So let's say theoretically Leah didn't steal Nicole's vote. Everybody had a vote. Um, did it go through your mind? Because this is what I thought was going to happen, or probably what I would have done is, let's say it was like a 3v. I'm sorry, Final Seven. Let's talk about Final Seven. Angela's still in. I thought maybe it was going to be like a 3v3 against Derek, just to get Derek out. And maybe in Final Six, y'all just duke it out. There's three versus three. Maybe go to rocks. Somebody flips, and a new game is created. Like, what was your thought process while Angela was still in the game and you still had that core three together? Was a big move in the works, or it was always let's just keep on riding and see what happens?
So once they tried to go for Angie and she played the idol, I had no plans to work with Green ever again. They screwed us and we were trying to take them out. My goal was to get Leah out as much as possible. And so once Derek became the one yellow left, he became like collateral. We needed him as a player. Each alliance was trying to get Derek basically because we knew that the 3-3 was going to be a problem. We wanted somebody to be the swing vote. So that was Derek. So as soon as we get back to camp, I go to Derek at the well and tell him, let's work together, please. Green is trying to screw both tribes. Let's work together to take them out. And come to find out, Leah had already talked to him like 5 minutes prior, and they'd already gotten him. He pretty much said that if we'd come to him before that, he'd have worked with us. But because Leah came to him first, that was it. So we were hoping for something to happen. We still kept talking to Derek, and the goal we were hoping he was going to side with us to take out um, more than the green, and that he decided to take out Angie. And every round after that, we kept kind of thinking he would decide to jump ship and come to us, and it never panned out. We were trying.
Yeah. So, I thought was interesting in one of the most recent episodes, there was a confessional from Crystal who talked about why haven't they come to me? I would have tried and flip against Leah. Like why wasn't that conversation had?
Heck, fun, because Nicole was talking to Crystal a lot, and I think if we had known that was the plan, I would have jumped on it. I feel like when I saw that confessional when I was editing, I think she was just saying that and waiting for somebody to do something. But I don't think she had any plan to take out Leah. That's just me.
Okay.
Should have.
So let's talk. Okay, let me ask you one more question before I actually get to my list of questions. Well, you know, are you familiar with the purple edit, right? Okay.
Yes,
For those who are not familiar with the purple edit,
tried to avoid.
um, what'd you say?
Tried to avoid purple if I could. I was
Yeah.
trying.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So for those who are not familiar with the Purple Edit, in season 21, Nicaragua, there were two Kellys in the cast, and Purple Kelly was the nickname for the Kelly that had a purple streak in her hair. And she basically was not relevant to the season, ended up quitting the game with somebody else, and was very rarely shown. So throughout Survivor, there's a new term called the purple edit. So if somebody's very rarely shown, they are deemed the purple edit of the season. So I saw a comment in one of the most recent episodes, um, which I can tell was a super fan who knows that term, that Ryan is being purple edited. And now I have a question for you, not as an editor, but as a player. What was your thought process with Ryan specifically in the game and him kind of being a minor character and how that could have been used to your advantage or not?
I really tried to. I was worried about making somebody purple because I was worried so much. There's so much. I know there's a ton of footage, so people don't
Yeah.
even realize how much there was. Um, but my goal as the editor was to make it where everybody got screen time each episode, whether it was a confessional or like them just talking at camp and at tribal. So everybody's visible. And I want to make sure like the final few players, like we got the final four, that they all got enough screen time to make sense of why they got that far. And so I tried to make it even as I could. Ryan was really quiet compared to his allies. And I realized when I was looking at confessionals, the three of them really said a lot of the same things, and it would get very repetitive. I tried to even it out as much as I could for those three. They were kind of like they were very tight
Yeah.
overall.
So did you think in the game playing with Ryan up until Final Five that, that is somebody I could recruit? I mean, who who was the most recruitable and what was your pitch maybe to, of course Derek, or did you not even try and approach the green? They were so solid.
They were tight, man. I could not honestly if I feel like Nicole did a lot of that. She's very sociable. She always kept trying to talk to Crystal because the others were like shutting us down. Um, I feel like I could have worked better with Leah because she was so vocal and on top of things. I feel like maybe I could have gotten her to flip, maybe, but she might have been the only one. The other two are like locked in.
Hmm. Okay. So let's jump to your tribal council, Final Five. Right before you just know that you're going home. So I mean, it was very clear that that tribal council, I knew going in that it was going, not that you were going home, but like that you had made it up in your mind that that's what was
I
going
think
to
I
happen?
think we all knew at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
So, and also a little bit of backstory, we get around like what, final seven. It was so hot on the beach that y'all would not even go to your camp. So y'all were like kind of in the middle of the facility, like where the bathroom, the porta potties
yeah,
were. So it
yeah.
was very difficult to strategize and talk. So tell me, like, what did you try to do to try and save yourself other than your plea at tribal council?
Ah, remember so long ago. I know I kept trying to talk to Derek, and at that point, I wasn't sure what to do because even if I got Derek, we'd still be on the bottom. The
Right.
only option I had, like I said, by the end of the game, it was getting so fast paced. There was only like 5 minutes between that challenge and the tribal council. We all went and sat and let the bonfire until you guys called us to go vote or go to tribal. And so I remember thinking, not much time to talk. I was gonna just go for a Hail Mary at tribal. I think Eric asked me that in one of my confessionals about just going for broke at tribal and seeing what happened. But still,
Yeah. So, this question is, well, before I get to that question, let's talk about the challenge. That was probably my least favorite challenge of the
hated it.
season. It was, and I really would like to put the blame on myself because it was very poorly designed and it was not what it was intended to be. And Meredith did a great job of explaining it and trying to make it work. This was a challenge that was on Crystal season Gabon, and it's been featured a couple of times since, but it just didn't pan out to what I think it was really the pieces of wood.
They're just too
But
thin.
yeah, so talk about what's going through your head at the challenge. You were ahead in a lot of the challenge and just, right towards the end, it just came crashing down. So talk about the challenge for me.
I'm not very good at building houses of cards, but my goal, those things were thin. Those were hard. It's like stacking pieces of paper, basically. Um, I was trying to get they kept being comments during the challenge. Meredith said I was going for a hollow structure. I was trying to build anything I could to get a flat surface. That didn't work, so I tried to build like a TP, and I did get 2 levels, but mine kept falling down. I didn't even notice Lee and Derek just doing the little rigging sheeting deal. They were doing the stack and block. I didn't think about that. Um,
Yeah.
I was so dead focused on me, and the jury was sitting in the corner watching it. So I felt so much pressure. Um, the time it went by so fast. I was just trying to get something to stay up at all. It was hard.
Yeah. And I wish it was recorded because it was a very cool moment. We're not at Ponderosa here in North Myrtle Beach, so the jury does get the opportunity to, from a distance, if it's in outside, watch the challenges. And in this case, we took this challenge inside, so the wind wouldn't be a factor because they were so thin. And it was a really cool moment after the challenge. Mariah ran over there and show basically schooled everybody on how to do the challenge. I think. No, you don't think that?
I remember. I can't remember. It was a blur. I believe it.
So
That sounds like her.
anyways, right. So this next question I think is especially important to you, having had access to all the footage and confessionals now and being able to go through and edit the episodes. When watching, going through the footage, did anything surprise you other than what we spoke out about earlier, maybe in the confessionals or anything you saw?
Um, yes, there was a lot that I've seen that the other people didn't see because it didn't make the episode. There's a lot of everyone seemed very loyal to each other, and that is not the case. I left a lot of stuff out actually. Um, Keep it less suspense, less obvious. I had no clue Angie had alliances with everybody there except us. I had no clue she's working with Mariah. No clue she's working with Wayne. She was good. She had it under wraps. Because that's the thing. If me and Nicole knew that Mariah was with Angie, we'd have roped her in instead of voting her out. I had no clue. Her and Derek could have worked with us. We had no idea that was a thing. So she should have told us about that, Angie. Um, Other than that, there's just a lot of hearing people say how tight they are at tribal, and then hearing their confessionals. Like there's a vote. I think one the last episode, Derek and Lee are basically targeting each other, but you wouldn't just expect that when they're around each other. So it's interesting to see people was from somebody who played. and you don't see everything, and you come in and see all the confessionals and hear everybody's perspectives and what their individual games is. It's very interesting to hear where everybody's coming from. Everybody was giving it their all for sure. I was very impressed with the group because, I mean, like especially at the merge, everybody's so quiet and you don't know what everybody's thinking. Um, then like seeing James's confessionals and Laura's, like it's cool to see what their plans were. They didn't work out, but it's cool to see they were like in it to win. It was cool to see all that.
Absolutely. So, do you have any regrets or anything you wish you would have done while you were out there?
Yes. Uh, hindsight's 2020. I've been thinking over this for like 8 months. Every time I think about what I could have done, like if I saved my idol or if I put in Derek sooner, I think about what could have happened. And I think I'd probably still go out the same placement. But recently, I thought about what I could have done is that my vote out, instead of trying to take out Crystal, I had an idea. So the green weren't turning against each other, and Derek would not work with me. I thought, what if I pulled in Leah and convinced him to take out Derek instead? Huh?
Hmm.
Because Derek was pretty much number four. If I could convince them to make me number four instead and see how big a threat Derek is, that might have saved me.
Yeah, that's
Possibly. I didn't
true.
think about that at the time, but that might have worked. Probably not, but that's a regret of mine.
It would have been worth a try.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, rounding out your exit interview here, you are in fifth place here. We don't have much more left to go. So, any last thoughts for the viewers?
No, I hope they've enjoyed watching it as much as I have making it. It's been stressful and hard, but I've enjoyed the job. I'm gonna make the finale as epic as I can. It might take a while. I haven't started it yet. I'm working on it this weekend, but it's gonna be a good finish. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm trying to make it. I've tried to make it as the edit as obvious and not obvious as possible, so that it doesn't. You won't know who's gonna win, but when it's over, it'll make sense.
Hmm.
If you follow me, so that's the
Yeah.
goal. So I hope it's a satisfying end. I think it'll be.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we have one more exit. Well, I will say the 11th episode, which is up next, will be our finale, and we will see the final four make it to the end game. We will see one person go home, and then our final tribal council will take place. We have two challenges. The fire making challenge is back, and we have our final four challenge for immunity. So make sure you are staying in the loop. It'll be a hot second before we get the 11th episode out because it is a lot longer than the others. But stay tuned. Josh is working hard. He's done an amazing job. So thank you again. We are going to do exit interviews for our final three as well, just so you can hear an update on their time. Even though they technically didn't exit, I think it's important that we hear their side of the story. So, with that being said, we hope you join us for our finale and our Zoom reunion, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.